One thing I'll never understand is how some South Africans can proudly attack fellow Africans and somehow think they're justified. What makes it even harder to accept is history. During apartheid, African countries stood with South Africa. They opened their borders, trained freedom fighters, imposed sanctions, raised money, and risked their own economies because they believed apartheid was an injustice. South Africa wasn't left to fight alone. Fast forward to today, and you see Nigerians, Somalis, Ethiopians, Congolese, Mozambicans, and other Africans being blamed for almost everything that's wrong with the country. Shops are looted, people are assaulted, and families live in fear simply because they're foreigners. I hear people say, they're taking our jobs, or go back to your country. Really? Is that honestly the biggest problem? If a foreigner with no political power can destroy your economy, maybe your leaders are the ones you should be questioning. South Africa has some of the highest unemployment and inequality in the world, but migrants didn't create those problems. Corruption didn't start because a Ghanaian crossed the border. Power cuts weren't caused by a Somali shopkeeper. Decades of inequality weren't created by a Nigerian running businesses. Yet somehow, the anger always seemed to be directed at the easiest targets instead of the people making the decisions. And here's something else that doesn't sit right with me. Some people have so much energy for poor African migrants, but seem strangely quiet when it comes to confronting the systems that keep most of South Africa's wealth concentrated in relatively few hands. If your issue is inequality, then why is your fight with street vendors and small business owners instead of the people and institutions with real economic power? It's easier to intimidate someone who's vulnerable than it is to challenge the people who actually influence the economy. That's the uncomfortable truth. This isn't me saying that every South African is xenophobic, because they're not. Many South Africans have spoken out against these attacks, protected migrants, and condemned the violence. They deserve respect for that. But those who participate in xenophobic violence need to hear this. Attacking fellow Africans doesn't make your country stronger. It doesn't create jobs. It doesn't fix corruption. It doesn't lower the cost of living. It only divides a continent that already has enough problems. Africa loves talking about unity. We have the same flag at conferences and make speeches about African brotherhood. But unity means nothing if it disappears the moment times get tough. If Africa is ever going to move forward, we have to stop treating each other like enemies while the real problems remain untouched. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but I'd rather see Africans stand together than tear each other apart.